All right, guys. So now we're going to go through tips on doing great market research, and a lot of things that you're going to be learning on this video and through my programs is that market research is a big key on how to find great deals. And if you get this right, this is one of the key components of making money in property, because with any product or any service that you're doing, you need to know what's happening out there, right? And before we start on that, disclaimer is this information is just general advice. You need to get your own legal, financial, and accounting advice, because it's not advice at all. This is just general information, and take it as you will. So one of the things to start off with is talking to your finance broker or your bank. Get pre-approved and know what you can do. The last thing you want to do is find a deal that is 500 grand and you can only afford 350 grand. So find people on your team who are experienced in the property game, participating in the property game, and can add value to you. It's all well and good to have a good finance broker, but if he doesn't really know, or she doesn't really know, what your game is about and how to move forward in that game, it's really pointless. So find someone who's on the same wavelength as you and can move forward with you and grow with you. And if you don't have one, we've got one on the contacts list, but interview one or two or three finance brokers or bankers. I prefer to work with finance brokers, simply because bankers can be quite restrictive on their lending, and finance brokers are kind of like a lawyer. They present a case to a bank that tells them, put it in a way so that the bank is more likely to lend you money, right? So and find someone you can work with, someone that you relate to, someone you can trust, right? So, especially at the start, when you're looking at properties, people saying, which area should I focus on? I say just pick 2 or 3 areas that are constructed basic on your affordability is very important. Otherwise, look for a particular strategy. It might be a renovator strategy, it could be a splitter strategy, it could be a find a free block of land strategy. Or it could just be geographically, so near where you live. So focus. So the key 5 letters there is focus. So many times people look at commercial property, they look at retail property, then they look at high-rise buildings, then they look at splitter blocks, then they look at this and that, and they wonder why no one really gives them any credibility or gives them any money, because they're scattered all over the place, right? And choose a strategy that suits you and those areas. How much you can afford, how much your financial capability is, your experience level, your ability, your risk profile, and the current marketplace. So, years ago, a lot of people were doing blocks of units, and in terms of buying and strata titling, and that strategy can work. However, in particular marketplace, let's call it Brisbane or Ipswich, that strategy, I haven't seen anyone be able to do it consistently. So whereas splitter blocks, people can still do those strategies, and they're quite affordable, and they're quite easy to do. So use the ladder of complexity, especially if you're a beginner. Just start at the fundamental bottom. At the bottom you got buy and hold, you've got cosmetic renovations, you've got splitters, you've got small fundamental easy deals to do. So just start with the fundamentals. You've got the ladder of complexity, and use that, right? And go to Open Homes Weekly, get to know the agents, and let them know what you're looking for. Real estate agents are great in the way that they're commissioned salespeople, and until they find you something, you don't have to pay them. They don't get paid. So, and that's why I say to go Open Homes Weekly. It makes you get out there, makes you build the relationships. You get to know the agents, which agents are good, which agents are not so good. And so drive or walk those areas on a weekly basis. That's the only way you're going to get familiar with the properties, and you'll find that when you go on a weekly basis, properties will pop up and you go, wow, I didn't see that was for sale. Oh wow, that one's just sold. Oh wow. So on a regularity beats everything else. So get yourself into a bit of a rhythm, and get to know the areas or the suburbs intimately, street by street, house by house. And what I'm doing at the moment is I've got an area I'm focusing on. I've culled it down to a handful of, let's say, 20 streets. And if a property comes up and it's not in those streets, I don't look at that property. I'm looking for a particular type of strategy, and because that suburb has a patch of properties that are zoned for townhouses that I'm looking for in the strategy. So I'm just nailed it down to certain types of streets that I'm looking for, and find out what the median price is, and stay within that or below that if possible. One of the sources is API Magazine or Price Finder. And API Magazine is a good source. However, Price Finder is more of an up-to-date source, and use Price Finder religiously. Get to know it inside out. Be very clear on how to use it, and study the last 6 to 12 months of sales data. And get to understand which houses are sold for how much and why. Is it 3-bedders? Is it 4-bedders? Is the land 600 square meters? Is the land 800 square meters? Is the property new? Is it old? Is it new unit or a townhouse? And get to know that kind of level of detail. And even with a 3-bed or 4-bed, if you've been going to the open homes, you'll know how big they are. How many square meters was the 3-bed? Did it have a double lock-up garage? Did it have a carport? What features did the property have? And one of the things that I always talk about is putting in written offers, and this is part of market research. If you're getting too many of your offers accepted, then you're paying way too much, right? So, and when the properties sell, ring up the agent and find out how much, and that really shows the agent your commitment to the game, and what energy you're putting into it, and you'll continue to stand out as an agent who's active in the marketplace. So get to know the agents in the area, which agents to sell through, which agents to buy through, and this will stand out once you build your repertoire of agents and database of agents in the marketplace, and use the tools at hand. The council websites, Price Finder, Nearmap. Price Finder obviously is a subscription program that you have. Nearmap.com is a free tool. Council websites, so you definitely need to spend some time researching that. So, and like I said before, put in written offers, and I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Put in written offers. I'd rather you spend 1 hour a week putting in written offers and 2 hours market research than 20 hours of market research and doing no offers whatsoever. If you're doing all the market research, you're putting in no offers, then your 20 hours of market research is an absolute waste of time, right? So that concludes tips on market research, and we'll be talking to you real soon.